Kaylin is back there. Just by a show of hands, how many people are here for the first time with a child going through middle school? All right, great. So we have a good mix here. Tonight is going to be an hour or less. We want to give you a little bit of a taste of what it's like in the middle school. We have some key people in the middle school that you'll get to meet tonight. We're also going to share these slides, so if you have a friend who's picking up a child in all-county rehearsal, they will get a copy of the slides. We're also recording the presentation, so you get a copy of it afterwards. Don't feel like you need to take notes tonight. All right, so the QR code to the presentation is also right there. A little bit about myself. It's my 12th year as a middle school administrator. I have 2 kids myself. Sienna is 7 and Tessa is 5. I love working with middle school kids because it is a chance to learn and discover and find interests and passions. Probably for the adults sitting in the audience, if you think about something that you are interested in today, there's a spark that happened in middle school for you. There was some club, some class that really sparked an interest for you. Maybe that's a career that you have, or maybe it's a hobby that you have today. I remember sitting in Miss McGrath's 5th grade geography class. My middle school started in 5th grade. We did geography competition club there, and I ended up becoming a social studies teacher. So my hope is that your kids have that experience, or some spark or passion that they find, if they haven't found it already, in middle school that kind of sets them on a trajectory for their future. And when I'm not thinking about middle school or here, I love being outside, skiing, snowboarding, sailing. If you like any of those, come talk to me. We'll have a great conversation about it. I just want to highlight, your kids go to a great school. I don't get to brag about the school often. This is one of the times I get to do it. We're the #1 suburban middle school in New York State. There are a few schools in New York City that draw from 1.1 million kids that are ranked higher than us, but of the schools that say anybody who comes inside our district comes to our school, we're #1 in the state. We're a top 10 school district nationally, according to niche.com. We have a great social science research program. This year, the New York State Archives has this competition. They recognize 29 outstanding projects from across the state. 22 of them came from Jericho Middle School. So we have an outstanding social science program, and we are the 2024 winner of the Outstanding School Award by this organization that looks at social science research called the Lowell Milken Foundation. More important than any of those accolades, I want you to know your kids are going to be well taken care of here. They're going to be part of a community that knows them really well. They're going to be making great friendships. We do a lot to make this big place a small and intimate place where you get to know teachers. Your kids are going to be part of a team of about 50 people, or 50 students with 2 teachers. You'll get to know those teachers really well. So we do a lot to make sure that your kids are known and well taken care of. And we get the results that we do because we think about learning. We're not thinking about the results. We care that kids are learning skills that they can move forward with, and not because we're focused on those competitions. So we're really fortunate to have an incredible PTSA that supports our kids, our teachers, and our school in a variety of different ways. They sponsor author visits. They help us with our bully prevention kickoff event that we have each year, and numerous other ways. And one of our co-presidents is here just to say a little bit and introduce herself. So I'm going to welcome Ms. Newman up to the stage.
Hi, I know some of you. I'm from Cantiago. I was the president over there. Now I'm a co-president here at the middle school. And I just want to welcome you all. And I have a 6th grader right now, Joey, and my Alex just is a freshman in the high school now. And I was involved in the PTA in Cantiago, but then it's been just an amazing experience being involved here at middle school, because it's very important to join the PTA in middle school. It doesn't stop at elementary school, because like Mr. Gleason said, there are lots of things that we do to support the everyday of your children. And most importantly, we have meetings once a month that will help you learn about all the new stuff that's going on in the middle school that didn't happen when you were in middle school, like Canvas and Power School and the standard-based grading and Olveus, the big program we do. So definitely join the PTA and come to our monthly meetings. And if you want to get involved, there's no better time than to start when your child enters 6th grade. And you might not be going into classrooms to read books and do parties, but there are ways to be involved where you could get that little sneak peek with what's going on in the middle school by selling bubble tea after school, participating at Obeas, we have book fairs. So please consider being involved with the PTA. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing you next year at our meetings.
Thanks so much, and I think that's a really great point. You know, sometimes people feel like, oh, I'm not supposed to be there, it's middle school. No, we want you here. We want you in the school as much as possible. Volunteer for any event that will get you in the door. We're happy to have you. The other member of our building administrative team is Miss Balut. She's our assistant principal, and she does many, many things to support our students here, including the creation of our master schedule, which she's going to tell you a little bit about.
Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you so much for being here. It's so nice to see some familiar faces, and those of you who we don't know yet, welcome, and can't wait to get to see you regularly, as Ms. Newman said. My name is Sarah Balut. This is my 17th year as an educator and my 10th year as an administrator. That is not correct. It's my 22nd year as an educator. But this is my family. I live in Garden City with my stepdaughter Sophia, who just is getting her college acceptance letters. It's really exciting. And my 5-year-old Joey, who's in kindergarten. So we have a really wide range of things happening at home. My dog Romeo and my awesome husband Joe. I love to travel, to dance, to go to shows, and just to be part of this middle school is really amazing. And like Mr. Gleason said, there's so many moments that you probably remember from your middle school life. I also remember the ups and the downs and navigating the social situations and just the things that seem so big and out of this world. So we have a really great team that tries to support your children in every which way. So as Mr. Gleason said, I do create the master schedule with a team of other people, not just myself. But this is what a sample of a 6th grade schedule looks like. Different than in 5th grade, they're going to have 2 core teachers. One will be their math and science teacher, one will be their ELA and social studies teacher. The other encore classes will obviously be taught by a variety of people. That allows the students to go back and forth, change classes here and there, but what's really nice is that we keep all of the 6th graders on the same floor. Their lockers are right outside of their classrooms, and when they're changing classes, they're just going down the hall a little bit. The students will still have a music class, either orchestra band, chorus, or exploratory music. And what's really exciting is that they also get to take a language, which Dr. Chen will speak to you about in a little bit. There is the lunch period, most important time of the day, and it's a nice time for students to be able to have that break. They have their art, they have what's core. Core is going to be with whatever their first period teacher is, but they can do so many different things. Project-based learning, they can catch up on work. They might have a double period of a class that has something special happening. And there's a lot of different things going on. Phys ed, gym, we have every day in 6th grade. Every year. It's me, it's clearly me. All right. So this month we're excited because all of the guidance counselors, the nurse, the administrators are going down to meet with all of the 5th grade teachers and the administrators, and we're going to learn a little bit about your children, what they can share with us, and we create different classes. Right now it looks like we're going to have 11 6th grade classes next year, which is exciting and pretty big. Our first bell is at 7:26, so that means some of your children will be getting picked up at 6:45, 6:55. It's early, we know that it is. We actually just started a breakfast program this year, a grab and go, so if they didn't eat something running out the door, they can get a bagel or yogurt, things like that, some fruit. We have 9 periods of the day, and that's done at 2:03. However, 2:03 is when the fun begins. We have clubs, we have extra help. I think there are over 30 clubs in the middle school. There's so many different activities, intramural sports that the 6th graders can play. And we have a full cafeteria open that is fully supervised. So from 2:03 to 3:30, maybe your kid just wants to hang out with the friends, or maybe you don't get home from work until 3:45 and there is a place for them to be supervised here. They also can go to the library and they're in a supervised place until 3:30. So we have the 2:03 bus and we also have a 3:30 bus. Next week, I'm going to be sending out an email to you. Please make sure you just keep an eye out for it. There's going to be 2 big decisions that you and your child will be making, and hopefully mainly their choice. Well, the first is which music class would they like to continue with. We encourage students to start in or to continue in 6th grade and go through high school with the same music selection. Sometimes that changes, but it's really important that if they love chorus but they love orchestra, they're going to have to figure out a way to make one of them work at this time. And then their world language selection. So you'll get that from me next week. I hope to have everyone's response by March 14th, gives you some time to talk, and I'm free to answer any questions afterwards. And next we have our amazing guidance counselor, Miss Carrie Schmidt. Some of you may know her as she's a rock star.
Thank you so much. I'm looking up at my 2 sons, Ryan and Kyle, and my lovely daughter-in-law. That was their wedding 2 years ago. And I've been in the Jericho School District for 30 years. This is my 30th year. Actually, I was an intern in '92, so a little bit more than that. And I like to go to hockey games. I have 2 King Charles Cavaliers. I think I look like one of my dogs, the one on the left-hand side. And my dog has freckles, so, and his name is Brady Mackey. And I love the 4 seasons. That's why I love New York, that's why I love Long Island. But I particularly love the fall. And when I say I enjoy working at the Jericho Middle School, I really mean it. I love working with kids in this age group. And, you know, we say that the first biggest growth spurt in a child's life is from birth to the age of 2, and the second is 10 to 14. So when they come in as 6th graders, and then they leave me, and when I become their 8th grade counselor, they're like young men and women, and we get to be a part of that. But there's a lot of action that goes on in between. So wait, let me try the clicker. Hold on. I'm gonna see Mrs. Balloon if it is you, because I'm not good with this. Yes, okay. So we've already, oh wait, no, I don't think I did it. Okay, so we're already preparing for your children to come to the middle school. Dates are already set up. Where we will be, just piggybacking, it's not up here now, on something Ms. Balut said, we do what we call articulation. We spend a lot of time when we do scheduling. We get background, we get to talk to the 5th grade teachers, and we get to know who your kids are. So, and the counselors spend a lot of time with the administrators when we're planning for the opening of the school. So we go to the elementary schools, the counselors do, and we give out the kids a survey, and they kind of tell us a little bit about themselves. Family members, interests, hobbies, because when they've never had a counselor. So we call them in individually. Hopefully they feel comfortable, they get to know us. And it's a little easier for them when they're sitting across from an adult they don't know very well. We can kind of work off of information they've already shared. Brave Ambassadors will be visiting. That's Brave, part of our anti-bullying program. And they go into the 5th grade classrooms and they do activities on that are part of the program that we're so proud of here. I already said articulation. And then the kids come, they visit us, they get a tour of the building, the Brave Ambassadors greet them, and then they go into 5th grade classrooms, 6th grade classrooms, they meet with the current 6th grade teachers, and they learn about, and they're sitting there with the current 6th grade students. So it's a great way to begin to transition them to our school. So the counselor assists with personal, social, and academic growth. Like I said, a lot goes on. Socially, they're coming to the middle school. The 3 elementary schools are coming together. We have a lot of students coming from all over the world or all over the state. And there's a lot of social changes. And a lot of times, kids need to work with the counselor on just kind of making decisions, some of the feelings that they may be experiencing, how to resolve some of their own problems as they're beginning to become hormonal and their social world becomes one of the most important things to them, but it's temporary. And career exploration, we do have a program called Naviance. It's K through 12, same program that the high school uses. It's a web-based career readiness program. But during the middle school years, again, the counselors go in, we do group guidance, and we begin to do activities with them on what their interests are, what their skill sets are, what kinds of things do they gravitate to. So they begin to prepare them for high school. Very important when we're beginning to do scheduling and they begin to have more options. And you're starting to tailor their programs as they get older, hopefully towards one day, I know it seems far away, but when they are gonna select a major, right? So we begin that process in the 6th grade. And we're an advocate to students, parents, and staff, and we work closely with our administration. So if you want to meet with the teachers, you can communicate with teachers directly. Counselors coordinate a lot of those parent meetings. We do group counseling. As I said before, we have a great anti-bullying program, the Olveas program. We do a lot of guidance work in the rooms. We also do a lot of Naviance activities. Individual counseling, as well as a lot of time with schedules and anything else. So if there's anything you need, I will be your children's guidance counselor for 3 years. So it's an honor, and I look forward to working with you. I'm going to introduce you now to one of my favorite people. She's one of the most fabulous 6th grade teachers, Miss Murphy.
Hi, how are you? Big crowd. Nice to see you all. My name is Bess Murphy. I'm a 6th grade teacher here at Jericho Middle School. It's such a fun time for your kids. I know I have 2 daughters, that's them. The one on the left is Fanula, she's 17, she's a senior. She just got into Providence College, go Friars. And the other one is a sophomore in high school. So we're having a lot of interesting things happening at home. When I was in middle school, I lived in Bloomington, Minnesota. And if I didn't blow my hair dry all the way, by the time I got to the corner for the bus, my hair would freeze. And I would get on the bus and it would be hot and it would drip down my back. I always remember that about middle school. You probably didn't need to know, but that's what I remember about living in Minnesota. My first career was in morning radio. People always enjoy that little fun fact about me. I did that for about 10 years. I'm a career changer. So now I teach 6th grade. It was a perfect transition. Radio, 6th grade students. They all get my jokes and it works well for everybody. I live in Long Beach and I'm married. Those are my 2 kids and that's my husband at the top up there. Here, moving on here. 6th grade is super amazing and your kids are gonna grow. This first year is like one of the most exciting times. They come in, they're like a little frightened, they're afraid they're gonna get detention for being late to one of their classes. It never happens. And those whole first weeks of school, the teachers are just like standing in the hall and we're just checking everybody's faces to see, do you know where you're going? Are you comfortable? Let me show you the way. So they're gonna get lost, but there's gonna be tons of people around to help them find their way. They get their first piece of real estate, they're gonna have a locker, they're gonna get a locker that they're gonna go home with at the end of the 5th grade, and they're gonna be able to practice all summer, and you can practice too. So that when they come into the 6th grade, they feel confident, they're already able to open up that locker, get things in there, get things out of there. We're gonna work on all of the little pieces that go along with becoming a responsible 6th grade student. I know you're like, I don't know if it's possible. It's possible. We're gonna make it happen, I promise you that. We just have this incredible network. You got to meet already Ms. Schmidt. We have our social worker, Ms. Breland is here, and Dr. Allison Brush is here. She's also here to work with your kids. So there's a ton of people. The other thing is, it's not an island middle school. All of the teachers in the 6th grade are really happy to communicate with you. We're happy to have a phone conversation. We're happy for you to email us. We'll get back to you rather quickly, believe it or not. And we really are all very interested in teaching middle school students. We like them. They're so fun. And all of the 6th grade teachers have that same feeling. So we are really ready to help you with whatever you need. Please don't be frightened to reach out or think now they're supposed to do this on their own. They're not. If you have a question, reach out, let us know. What about homework? There's tons. It's never ending. No, I'm just kidding. There is homework, and it won't be terrible, but your kids are going to ask about it, so you can let them know they will have homework, but it will probably be just an extension of what they've already been doing in elementary school. We do tons of really fun things in the 6th grade as well. We go on field trips. We get to go to, we have something called the Mini Olympics. We do this big day called the Olveus Anti-Bullying Kickoff. That happens at the beginning of the year. Parents are welcome to come up and participate in that as well. There's a lot of opportunities for you to get involved. We do cupcake wars. That's going to be coming up at the end of the year. Each quarter we do something called the Personal Best Awards, and students that are nominated for a Personal Best Award, you get to come up. There's cake. I mean, really, enough said, right? We celebrate world languages. We have literacy leaders. There's a big diversity day. I run the Diversity Day Club, so there's going to be a huge show that takes place on Valentine's Day this year. There's stores, spelling bees, we do a geography bee, tons of author visits, and we do field trips, several each year. So there's so much coming up that's going to be really fun. And that's what I want you to push home to your kids, because they're going to be anxious and worried. I'm hoping that they're a little bit more anxious and worried than you. But if you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks. I'm introducing. Oh, sorry, that was the pictures. Lionel, Dr. Lionel Chan.
Thank you so much. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Lionel Chan. Nice to meet you. I'm the Curriculum Associate for our World Languages Department and also Family Consumer Science. I supervise all the foreign languages that we teach here at the Jericho School District. I work with our teachers, I visit classrooms, I see the exciting lessons that they have prepared for your children and make learning another language a very engaging experience. And another part of my job is to advise students on language placement. Like, they're not sure what level they belong in, what language to take, etc. So I have those conversations with everybody. So a little bit about myself. I've actually learned all the languages that we teach here. I actually was a teacher of Spanish and Italian when I first started at Sciences Central Schools. And I've also gotten certification in French and Mandarin as well. I love learning languages. It's my passion. I love to read and travel. Those are some of my favorite places that I've been. I'll just share. I was in Zurich in November. It was wonderful just to see like another side of Switzerland, because last year I was in Geneva, and it's just such a difference in terms of the languages that they speak within that one country. And yeah, traveling, that's my thing. And outside of that, I also love to promote growth mindsets. I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. So I think that middle school is a super exciting time for your children to be learning another language, because at this age, there's a lot of theories out there, but the research shows that from birth all the way, some people say it could be early as 7 years old, but other researchers find that it's up to like 11 or 12 years old even. Children can actually hear another accent and actually replicate that accent very well, versus someone who learns a language, who begins to learn a language as an adult. They do not have not everybody, but in general, they don't have as easy of a time in replicating that same accent and having that native-like accent when they learn another language. So that's why middle school is such an exciting time to be learning a foreign language, because your children are going to be able to sound like and speak like a native speaker. They're still within that age bracket. So Mr. Gleason is going to share these slides with you, I believe. And in that slide, there's a link to an article that came out a few years ago from the LA Times. And that's the title of the article. Learning a language means failure, embarrassment, and the enrichment of your life. And within that title, it just summarizes what learning a language really is. Because you're going to learn a language and you're going to find that sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. And when it's not, you're going to learn that, like, hey, what am I going to do to get better at this, right? So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but like, you know, it's that whole experience of being able to just grow and find out what is it that I don't know, what is it that I do know, and how can I make myself better? And I'm connecting that with what I put on the right there. As you can see, like, you know, in middle school, you know, the students are talking a little about all the, you know, the changes that children are going to experience when they're students at this level. There's grit, but also this growth mindset. So what is that? Again, so many of you probably have heard the term, Carol Dweck has coined it, right? So it's really about, if you try something new and you don't succeed, what can you do to get better at it? And if you find that this other method isn't really working, well, what else can you do? And you try that. And you keep going at it until you get better and better and better and better. And I have to tell you that this is one of the most important skills for all children to learn, and middle school is the best place for that. So that's what learning a language is going to play a role in and help facilitate, so to speak, in this process. So a couple of things before I talk about our options. Okay. I visited the 5th grade classes from before our vacation and also when we came back, I came to see some other 5th grade classes. I went to all 3 elementary schools, and I shared with your children, I told them all that they're going to pick a language starting next year. Okay, so in 6th grade, they're going to have a foreign language every other day. So we went on a day 1 and day 2 schedule, so they'll have a foreign language every other day. They're going to pick one language, and they're going to stay with that language from 6th grade all the way through 12th grade. Okay, so there's no switching after we start. So once they start in September, that's the language that they start with from 6th grade all the way through 12th grade. Why do we do that? We're really about building a strong foundation and growing from there and being committed to something. So for instance, if you start one thing, you learn a little bit about that, and then you flip-flop and you say, I want to try something else. At the end, by the time you get to 12th grade, you're not really that fluent or proficient in anything, and that's a problem. So we want to make it something where by the time you actually leave Jericho schools, your children, are going to be very proficient and fluent in the language that they've been studying for the last 7 years. So I encourage everyone to pick a language that's new, meaning something that they don't know, because that's what middle school is about. Middle school is about new experiences, okay? Trying new things, okay? Things that they're not familiar with, and there may possibly be some placement testing that we do towards the spring. So let me get into the options really quickly. In alphabetical order, those are the 4 languages that we offer. So I'll tell you a little bit about them right now. So we do offer Chinese. The type of Chinese that we offer here at Jericho Schools is Mandarin. And again, it's I put at the bottom there, if you're a language learner, what are some of the special features of this language? Again, there's no verb tenses, like you'll see in some of the other languages, and there's similar word order to English. And again, a lot of it's a language that is spoken in China, and China is part of the BRICS group. So that's one option. French, another option that we offer. It's one of the official languages of the United Nations. It's one of those world languages, right? Again, a lot of English vocabulary comes from French. Also a similar word order to English. Another option that we have here. Next, Italian. Okay, we offer one of the languages that's very popular with American tourists, actually, who go to Italy for vacation, and you'll see that in Italian. There's a lot of cognates. It's the closest language to, it's the closest Romance language to Latin. So there's a lot of cognates. between English and Italian, and it also has similar word order to English. And finally, we have Spanish. Many cognates and also similar word order. The way you say it is the way you spell it, unlike in English, it's not always 100%, not a one-to-one correspondence, but in Spanish and Italian they are, okay? An official language of 20 countries. So that's that in summary, okay? Those are our 4 choices. So as Ms. Balut said, you have until March to make your selection, okay? I told your children when I visited the 5th grade classes this. The American Council for Teaching Foreign Languages, the ACTFL is the name of the organization. They have done studies and have found that when children pick a foreign language that they're motivated to learn, that they're interested in, they tend to do better. Versus when a student says, as Ms. Balut alluded to earlier, well, I'm studying this because my parents told me to take this language. And, you know, I have those conversations with kids. And again, it's what I share with your students, or what I share with your children is that it's a commitment for the next 7 years, right? They're going to be learning this language. If they really enjoy something, if they're really interested in something, they really want to try it, I think that that's an important factor for you to listen to. And also, I told your children that they should also listen to you as well and see if you have any suggestions or ideas. And from that, you come together, have a conversation, maybe more than one, and then as a family, you'll make a decision. Okay, so again, I'm Lionel Chan, and if you have any questions, you can contact me. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Alfano.
Thank you, everybody. I'll be one of the last few people you'll see up here, so that's a good thing. My name is David Alfano. I'm the Curriculum Associate for Special Education 6 through 12. So as we meet your students coming into the 6th grade, I'll also be with them through the 12th grade. I deal primarily with the special education portion of your academic careers for your students, children. I'm actually new to Jericho. It's my first year here, so by the time the 6th graders come in, I'll have a better understanding of where to send them in what direction. Hopefully I won't get anybody too lost. I kind of got my way around here, so it's okay. I'm a former math special ed teacher, so I've taught in the ICT co-taught settings, the small class settings, honors courses, and everything in between for algebra and trig. Not a big fan of geometry. Angles kind of confuse me, but that's okay. A lot of my history has actually been in the creative fields. So you'll see these are some of my art pieces that I have up there. During COVID, I was working on that. The little guy in the corner there, you may either know as Mario or Nemo. Mario is in my office, so if anyone wants to take a look at it. He was also created on one of the machines your students will have access to in the high school time, so they may be able to create something like that. Nemo stays home. I can't take him to work with me. Not yet. But we do have a fish tank, so they can always see that at some point. The special education, one of the major things that we keep on hearing is, who do I give my paperwork to? How do I give you my information? Who do I speak to? I'm here to tell you, you don't have to worry about that. We will communicate with the elementary schools. We know your students before they even get here. We will put them in the correct place, the correct setting, and give them all the supports they need. So you don't have to worry about who to speak to. We get all that information. As you've heard, we speak with the elementary schools to make sure that the students are prepared to come in. We do the same thing in my department. We have an amazing team working with the guidance counselor, the admin team, and the teachers. Allison Brush's name you might have heard. You will hear later. You'll be working with her in the middle school level. So we actually have every single setting that will support your student. So children, I keep on saying student. Your children. So whatever they need, we will be able to provide them. And our teachers here will make sure that they get exactly what they need. If they're struggling, we give them a little more support. If they're doing great, we let them kind of ride a little bit more and kind of fly free just to see how far they can go. So we have the gamut of supports that we can provide them. One of the other things is we want to make sure that your transition from elementary school to middle school is as smooth as possible. In addition to that, we can actually provide that transition into the high school space. So as we get to know them here, it's a smooth transition down the hallway to the middle school area, from the high school, middle school. Either way, you can make sure that we'll be able to kind of support them along the way. Okay, so we will definitely get to know each other if you need any of those supports. Once again, David Alfano in the secondary, and you'll also get to meet Miss Viviano, who's amazing, and she always has those little butterscotch candies, which we have to fill up her little cups with. But I'm gonna hand this back over to Mr. Gleason to finish off the night.
Thank you. I love this picture. You know, you heard tonight that middle school is a time of rapid change. It's also a time of varied change. Those two kids could both be 7th graders here, right? That's how varied the rate of growth is in middle school. We meet kids where they are, and we provide support for them wherever they are. It's one of my favorite quotes from an education writer. You know, it doesn't matter when the popcorn pops. It doesn't matter when something clicks for somebody. In the end, you get it, and it's not about the time that you get it. We just want everyone to leave here with the skills and the talents that they need to move on and move forward. So to that end, we do things like flexible scheduling. We have support classes in world language and math and English. And if you're in support class this week, it doesn't mean you need to be in support class for the rest of the year. You can cycle in and out of that as needed. We have an amazing team that's going to work with you to meet your kids where they are. You got to meet some of them tonight. We are always available for you through email, through phone, through in-person visits, smoke signals, whatever you need, we're here for you. I'm happy to take a few questions here, if anybody has any questions on anything that you saw tonight. And of course, okay, sure, go ahead. You can eat quickly. So the question was, for the folks at home, we have a grab-and-go breakfast option here in the morning. They're quick items like yogurt or bagels. So if a kid gets in at 7:15, first period starts at 7:26. They might have enough time to eat there. Can they eat in first period? It depends on the class. If it's a science lab that's going on, probably not, but then check with the teacher. Sure. The question is about allergies, and I'm going to make it more broad about any medical needs that your kids have. That's actually, we have a student information system called PowerSchool that maintains a record of any health concerns that exist. So there's health plans, and those travel with your kids up from the elementary school. Our nurse is part of our articulation process. She's going to come with us to visit the elementary schools, and she will get to know any medical needs to any of the kids coming up. But if you have any specific concerns, absolutely call Ms. Rosenfeld, Regina Rosenfeld, amazing nurse, and you're going to get in touch with her and share any of those needs. In terms of being a nut-free school, no, we don't have a guarantee of a nut-free cafeteria, for instance. Although we don't serve nuts here, I can't guarantee a kid across the table doesn't have something. Yeah, sure. For 6th graders, we have transportation provided at 2:03 and at 3:30. That 3:30 bus is shared with high school students. There's never been an issue with a middle school and high school student, although sometimes high school kids say the 6th graders, sometimes they're annoying to me. But otherwise it works out just fine. Once they get into sports in 7th and 8th grade, where they travel to other areas, maybe to compete in the sport, we have other buses. But in 6th grade, it's 2:03 and 3:30. I'm going to hang out here with my colleagues. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer, feel free to come on up, and we'll make sure that everybody's questions get answered before the end of the night. It's an honor to meet you. Thank you so much for being here, and we can't wait to meet your kids when they get here. Thank you very much.